Hey, it's Brian from Samcart, and if you're watching this video, you're probably in the beginning stages of starting your online business. And you're probably struggling with all the same things that every single beginner, myself included, struggled with when we got started. So a little while back, I recorded my entire 3-step process for launching new businesses from scratch. Everything from picking the perfect niche, deciding on the perfect product, and getting that product ready to sell in just a couple days. And in this first video, I'm going to start at the very beginning and show you how to pick the perfect niche. There are a couple rules that I've learned to follow over the years, and I'll explain each one of them inside of this first video. So let's get started.
Hey, it's Brian, and I just want to welcome you to our 3-part video series that's all about how to create your first digital product, getting rid of all the things that are probably holding you back from actually getting that done. In this video, we want to talk about your niche. What niche do you go into? What niche do you create your product or service in? And there's one big lesson that I want to make sure you understand when it comes to picking your niche. And let me tell you the quick story about how I figured this out. If you guys know anything about me, you might not. My first website was a site called trainbaseball.com. I was a former college baseball player, played a little bit after college, had a decent resume, but wasn't a major leaguer by any means. So when I first got started online, and not really when I got started, before I got started, I spent 3 months debating in my parents' basement, what niche should I go into? I talked to my dad for hours, days, weeks, ended up being months, 3 months debating, should I go into the baseball niche? It's something that I like, but I'm not an expert. I was a pretty good college baseball player, but I'm not a professional. I'm not a hitting instructor. I was 22 years old at the time, so I had a lot of doubt about whether that could be something that I could teach other people to do well. Would the parents listen to a 22-year-old kid? Do I have enough credibility? So I was really worried about going after my passion because of that. I also didn't know if the baseball world had enough people in it and that I could sell enough products in it to make enough money to quit my job. I had a bunch of other ideas. Actually, at the time, I was thinking about creating information products, courses, ebooks about how to use Facebook to sell to the older generation, like my parents' age, because this was in 2008 and 9 when Facebook was still relatively new. A lot of older folks weren't really sure how to use it. That was another idea. My sister had a photography business. I thought maybe we could create something for photographers. Had tons of ideas, probably a lot like you do now. And in the end, one of the thing that my dad said that he doesn't have any experience in this world. It was just something that he thought, hey, maybe you should do this. And I ended up listening to him, and I'm so glad that I did. And what he said was, stick with your passion. And the reason he said it, his hypothesis back then, proved to be incredibly true. And it was for 2 reasons. One, if you stick with your passion and you create this site about baseball, yes, you might not be able to make $100,000 a year, $1 million a year. We're not sure, but we think we might not be able to make that much money. But even if you don't, even if during those couple months that you're struggling and you're trying to learn how this whole game works, you will enjoy it. Enjoy it. And this has proven to be so true that, look, if you go into a niche that you think, hey, I think there's a lot of money over here, maybe it's, let's just say, the bowling niche, and I think I can make a ton of money in bowling, but I'm not really that good at bowling. I don't really like bowling, but I think I can maybe partner up with somebody or just make the product on my own and research and figure out how to create some sort of course that helps people become better at bowling. But you hate bowling. Is a bad idea. Do not chase money. Chase what you are passionate about. Chase something that you will enjoy, because when the journey you're about to embark on is going to be the toughest time that you have, is this first couple months, this first couple weeks, this first couple days, because there's so many ideas, there's so many uncertainties. Hopefully you have someone who can kind of coach you through the process. But you want to be doing something that you enjoy. The more you enjoy it, the more your passion is going to come out in your product, the more you're going to be able to fight through the days that just suck, the days when nobody's buying, when your ads aren't working. So stick with something that you enjoy, something that's you're passionate about, and something that you're going to enjoy through those tough days. The other part is if you pick something that you're passionate about, you are going to have credibility. I gotta make sure I spell that right. You'll have credibility. Now, you might not think you have enough credibility, but there's something called the one-step rule that I actually go more in depth. We have a whole master class, hours and hours and hours of content around creating products. It's called the Product Creation Masterclass. And at the end of this video, I'll actually show you how on one of our calls that you can get it for free. But anyway, back to, you might think you don't have enough credibility. When I first started trainbaseball.com, I thought, look, I'm a 22-year-old kid, never been a hitting instructor, never coached a team. I've just played at a decently high level at the college level, but wasn't, one of the best in the country. Didn't play professional baseball. There are tens of thousands of other baseball minds, baseball people out there who get paid to coach, who get paid to train, who have played at a higher level than me. So all those doubts were in my head. But in the end, one of the things I was remembered of is the one-step rule, where if this is your customer, and this is you, and let's say in the baseball analogy that this is a struggling high school or maybe college, maybe middle school, maybe elementary school player, a younger player than me, and he's struggling, as long as I am one step ahead of them, I can help. If you have a friend who's in debt and you're one step ahead of them, they're gonna value your advice. How do I get out of debt? You might not be the richest person ever, but maybe you don't have credit card debt, they do. If you have a friend who's overweight, and yeah, you might not be a fitness model, but you're not overweight, you're one step ahead of them, they will ask you for help. Your knowledge can help them. And what I failed to realize is I was always looking forward. I was always looking at everyone else that was more advanced than me. Why would they want to learn from me if there are so many other people? Well, number one, they don't have access to all those people. If you can master the art of marketing using the internet, which we'll show you how to do, you can be the one that reaches them first and say, look, there might be a lot of people that know more than me, but I know more than you, and I'm willing to help you, and I'm right here with a solution. And in the end, that proved so true. The credibility side is, again, if you're one step ahead of them, you have credibility. If you're following something that you're passionate about, you have credibility. If you're super passionate about knitting, you have credibility because you probably spent years knitting. You probably knit a couple hours a day. Whatever it is, you have a story to tell of, look, here's why I'm so passionate about this, because I've done it 1,000 times. I've gone down, this road and I've mastered this craft. You will have credibility. If you go into a niche that you know nothing about or that you're not that passionate about, you're not going to have credibility. You're not going to be able to speak from any experience. And hopefully that makes sense. And like I said, we go into way more depth into all of this in our Product Creation Masterclass. And if you sign up, probably on this page right down below, we have a training coming up. And in that training, I'll actually show you how you can get that whole training for free if you're interested in going into more details and depth into actually creating products, picking niches, all of that different stuff. So I think that is about it for this video. Again, whether you're selling information products, ebooks, courses, coaching programs, events, whether you're selling services, website design, or lawn mowing, or ballet lessons in your hometown, whether you're selling digital products or physical products, it doesn't matter. Stick with your passion. The most successful businesses that I know, the owner is obsessed with what they do. Look at Elon Musk and Tesla and SpaceX. He's obsessed with innovating. Look at Steve Jobs with Apple. He was obsessed. I don't think he was obsessed with phones, and he might not have been obsessed with computers. He was obsessed with what those things do for humanity. So find something in that niche that you are passionate about, that you can go out there and don't be worried about, look, I don't think this little tiny niche that I'm obsessed with can be some life-changing thing. Number one, this is a stepping stone. You will, if you stick with your passion and you enjoy the process and have fun even in the tough days, you will become you will learn how this whole world works of creating products and using the internet to sell them and building businesses. And I promise you, this will be a stepping stone, and the next thing will be even bigger. And you'll go into that with experience and wisdom that you got from this first project. And number two, most niches are way bigger than you think. I actually found a mentor in this baseball world, flew up to New Jersey to see him when I was making no money, and I was thinking there's no way I can make 50 or 100 grand in this niche, and found out he was making multiple 7 figures. So most of our preconceived notions are completely false. So just keep that in the back of your mind. There's probably a lot more people in your world than you think. So that is it for the picking your niche stage. Depending on where you came into this series, we're also going to cover the 3 tools and the 4-step process that I use to actually create my digital products. And then the last thing we're going to talk about is how to actually decide what product to create once you decide what niche you're going to go into and you know how you want to go about it. But I think that is it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed that one. If you have any feedback, thoughts, whatever, shoot me an email, and I'll be standing by. And I'll see you in the next video.
If you like this video, do me a favor, click like, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel so that we can get this info into more people's hands. And if you want to go even deeper, I made an entire training that goes through my 10-step system for launching 6-figure businesses from scratch. We cover everything from what to title your product to what to price it, how to get traffic, and how to start making sales without needing a multi-step marketing funnel or bloated e-commerce store. And you can watch that entire training completely free for the next few days by clicking on the link right down below this video.